Merry Christmas! Kinda, not really. Who cares? It's New Year's. It's the time of year where many are focusing on the future and what it may hold. I couldn't be bothered to write resolutions this year, so instead I took the time to consult the all-knowing, and now I have a definitive list of predictions. I'm going to take you month by month through 2023 and attempt to predict what Nintendo's going to vomit out this year. So let's dive in. January. Nothing much this month other than what we already know. Fire Emblem's stupid subtitle comes out on the 20th and will receive pretty good reviews from critics and fans alike. However, many will find the game to be a bit short. The main thing people will be talking about is a one-off line that suggests the main character could come to Smash one day. Twitter will undeniably moan and groan about it. Next thing in January comes GoldenEye, and that's about it. People will really like the multiplayer, though. February. February is going to be a pretty packed month, as it starts off with a Nintendo Direct. The first major reveal involves The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. We start by seeing some more unseen gameplay, of course, nothing we haven't really seen yet. That is until it cuts to black and a sword slashes the screen. In fades details regarding a 2-wave-long DLC pack that is to release day and date with the game. Eiji Aonuma appears on screen thanking fans for patiently waiting for more news on the game. It is here that he announces a game-specific direct for Tears of the Kingdom set to premiere in March. Most of the medium-sized announcements in the direct are going to be DLC. Booster Course Pass Wave 4 DLC will be shown, Mario plus Rabbids DLC will be shown, Xenoblade 3 DLC will be shown. Then, a surprise announcement that Advance Wars is finally coming out. In June. Hearing that this game isn't going to be coming out for another 4 months and the game was already set to release over a year ago, will sure annoy some people. Most will overlook it anyways because they'll be too busy playing Zelda. The physical release for Advance Wars will be scrapped and it shall remain an eShop exclusive for the rest of time. Next, in the middle of the Direct, we will finally see an end to one of the longest running Switch rumors. Metroid Prime HD. After all this time, it's finally coming out. It won't be the entire trilogy like earlier leaks suggested, but it sure will be a looker for the eyes. The remaster will look gorgeous and essentially be a whole new game. It'll retail for $60, which thankfully won't stir up too much controversy. The game will be released in June. We come to the final announcement. The presenter will thank us for watching before showing us one last thing. Church bells are ringing. We open on a shot of the moon. Mario stands nervously at the altar dressed his Sunday best. A crowd of wedding attendees sit in anticipation. Guests include Cappy, Tiara, Toads, Toadette, Luigi, and even Daisy. The church doors open and Princess Peach walks down the aisle in a wedding dress. After a priest Toad says some gibberish, a giant hand smashes its way through the stained glass window, sending shards of glass raining down on everyone. The hand then tears off the roof of the building right before snatching Peach. The giant robotic hand belongs to Bowser's airship. He exclaims that if he can't have her, then no one can, before flying out into space. Mario rushes outside in an attempt to catch the ship, but to no avail. A moment of silence occurs before the ground begins to shake. The moon explodes, breaking into big chunks, sending Mario flying into the empty vast of space. A title card fades onto screen. Super Mario, A Space Odyssey. Super Mario Odyssey 2 ends off the presentation with a release date of 2022. Next on the docket is a Pokemon Presents presentation, set for February 22nd. This is a light showcase, mainly to give updates on smaller things such as the anime and their mobile games. But two notable things will be announced. First, kinda obvious one, being DLC for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. Pokemon Crimson Caves and Pokemon Velvet Valley will expand the game's already large open world. Each will feature stories that intertwine in ways not obvious until playing both DLC packs. Crimson Caves will go below the surface to immerse you in a series of damp limestone and cold caverns, while Velvet Valley primarily focuses on a series of mountains you need to scale to make it to the peak of the map. Pokemon Crimson Caves and Velvet Valley will release in November. Then the last announcement will be a surprisingly exciting one. Pokemon and Square Enix will be announcing a partnership together to produce a brand new game, Pokemon Crystal Ages, a remake of Pokemon Crystal from the Game Boy Color set in the style of the HD 2D games. Game Freak will make it clear that this is simply an experiment to see the viability of working with other big-name studios when it comes to outsourcing labor. But who knows, maybe it'll lead to something in the future. Pokemon Crystal Ages comes out in August. Lastly, game releases. Both Kirby Returns to Dreamland and Octopath Traveler come out on the same day. Kirby's Return to Dreamland Deluxe will be the highest selling remaster in the franchise. However, not much more than that. And Octopath Traveler 2, can't say that this one's going to sell that well. Critically, the game will be viewed as okay. Not as good as the first one, but certainly not bad. However, the sales will not look too good, as it'll sell maybe slightly better than Live Alive, but that's about it. March. Okay, breather. March will bring with it a couple of things. Firstly, Bayonetta Origins. Upon release, it'll receive mostly mixed reviews. Many will note that the weak story does no favors for the gameplay, and that it's surprisingly unpolished. Many comparisons to Travis Strikes Back will be made. Next comes the Tears of the Kingdom Direct. It'll be exactly what you expect. DLC will be detailed, mechanics will be shown off, yada yada yada. After the presentation ends, hype will be kicked into maximum overdrive. Finishing off the month, Booster Course Pass Wave 4 will drop. The tracks for the wave will include Amsterdam Drift, Koopa Cape, Delfino Square, Singapore Speedway, Waluigi Stadium, and Riverside Park. 2 of the tracks are unknown on what they'll be themed around, so I have nothing to predict for those 2. Wave 4 won't make as big of a splash as Wave 3, but it'll be still good fun. April, my month. The Super Mario Bros. Movie releases on April 7th and will be great. Like, pretty good. Better than anyone would probably expect. However, the Rotten Tomato meter will be low. And not even like understandably low, like the Road to El Dorado levels of wrong. What should be a good 62 will be a scathing 29. However, financially, the film will print gold. It'll be the highest grossing animated film of the year, grossing at least $800 million at the box office. After the movie's success, reports will come out discussing a rumor that the Donkey Kong spin-off film was reportedly officially greenlit by Nintendo, but we won't know if that rumor is true or not until later. May. After the long wait from June of 2019 to May of 2023, fans will finally get their hands on The Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom. And it will be good. I think a lot of people will be expecting a lot more from a sequel to one of the most innovative games ever, but it just won't be that. While still immensely fun and even widely considered better than the first entry, it's gonna feel like to many that this game was more of a replacement for Breath of the Wild rather than a sequel. Critics will mostly agree, however the Metacritic score will be fairly low for a Zelda game, sitting at around 84%. I can't say it'll be bad or it won't sell well because, of course not. It's still gonna make money and it's still gonna be great, just not quite at that level of innovation people would have hoped for coming from a sequel to one of the most influential games ever made. June. Advance Wars 1+2 Reboot Camp will release, and despite everyone being busy playing Tears of the Kingdom, the game will hit the bestsellers list on the eShop. Reviews will be about what you expect, and WayForward will note in an interview that they hope to work on a new entry in the near future, however have no plans to work on the franchise at the moment. Alright, big time, E3. And no, E3 won't be cancelled and Nintendo will still host a Direct this month. None of that third-party showcase stuff. Kicking off the presentation, we will get a look at Astral Chain 2. Co-developed by Platinum Games and Monolith Soft, the game will look noticeably better than the first game visually. The game will be slated for October. With a tad bit of a lukewarm opening for many, Nintendo immediately jumps into more Odyssey 2 information. More details of the story, the kingdoms you'll explore, all that. The main difference from the first game will be that you're exploring planets now instead of kingdoms. And while this might sound a lot like Super Mario Galaxy, it's not. It'll be the exact same style of gameplay from the first game. You won't be running all the way around planetoids or abstract obstacle courses, none of that. The new main feature shown is 2-player co-op. Both Mario and Luigi will be playable, with Mario partnering with Cappy and Luigi comedically partnering with Tiara. The campaign involves Peach being kidnapped and taken to a far-out planet that Bowser built to be sucked into a black hole. Super Mario Odyssey 2 is set to be released in December. Next, Splatoon 3 DLC. The Splatoon DLC will be a direct sequel to the Octo expansion, being semi-confusingly called Splatoon 3, the Octo Expansion Volume 2. I didn't play Octo Expansion, so I couldn't tell you if a sequel is likely, but from what I've researched, it does seem possible. Next comes Mario Kart 8's Booster Course DLC. This new wave won't be entirely revealed in one go. It'll show off 2 tracks, those being Dino Dino Jungle and Los Angeles Laps. However, Dino Dino Jungle will have been leaked beforehand due to some leftover code a part of Wave 4 that suggested it'd be coming, but whatever. As the show comes to a close, the host will ask, what did we think? Then he calls up Shigeru Miyamoto. This is where we finally get an update on Pikmin 4. Miyamoto will discuss many of the game's locations, how the game will be played, some of the new friends and foes you'll face, stuff like that. The game will be much more linear than most Pikmin games. In this entry, a new captain, who I'll just call Candlewick, is flying through space before the ship suddenly begins to crash, forcing him to eject from his seat. He slowly drifts down to the ground using his parachute as he watches his ship land miles and miles away. It's here that he meets a Pikmin for the first time. The game releases in September. Miyamoto tells us to stick around for an exclusive look at more gameplay for Pikmin 4 during the Treehouse Live presentation, set to begin after the Direct finishes. He thanks the viewers for tuning in before showing us one last thing, a brand new Star Fox game, Star Fox Legion. Developed by Ubisoft Toronto, the game will feature highly stylized music and visuals not too dissimilar from the Star Fox Zero short film. Fans will be waiting anxiously with anticipation as the game comes out in October. July. Booster Course Pass Wave 5 comes out this month, and the rest of the tracks that haven't been shown yet will be. Wave 5 courses will include Toad's Factory, GBA Sunset Wilds, Bangkok Rush, and Bowser's Castle. Bowser's Castle will be interesting considering that each of the variations included in Super Mario Kart will be featured as the track changes every lap. Bowser's Castle 1 on the first lap, Bowser's Castle 2 on the second lap, and Bowser's Castle 3 on the third. People will sulk knowing that there's only but one more DLC pack left to come. The last noteworthy release of July, the original Mario movie will be getting a collector's edition release on Blu-ray. Bonus features aplenty, cut clips put back into the movie, and an official re-release on digital platforms. Finally, it comes out near the end of July. August. Pokemon Crystal Ages releases this month, and the praise will be sky high. This will be considered one of, if not the best Pokemon remake. The game will sell modestly well, around 4 million copies. However, due to releasing in the dead of August, sales will be underwhelming considering Pokemon's history of the game selling like hotcakes. Unfortunately, I don't think the Pokemon Company will be jumping at the chance to make any more games like this in the future, even if it wasn't the game's fault, but rather the time of when it released. Whatever. September. First, Pikmin 4. The game will sell just shy of 4 million copies, and reviews will be great. Not as good as Pikmin 3, but still really good. Around the middle of the month is when Nintendo will announce the rumored Donkey Kong spin-off film is officially in production, and is set to release in 2025. Seth Rogen will reprise his role as Donkey Kong, with Kevin Hart set to voice Diddy Kong. Story details will remain unknown for now. I'd shower you with coconut cream pie. Feels like we were just hot off the heels of a Nintendo Direct, and already there's going to be another one set for the 27th. The show will start with the reveal of the 3D action adventure remake that was spearheaded by Bandai Namco. What is it? Kid Icarus Uprising Remastered. Yes, indeed, the speculation was true. Kid Icarus is officially coming to the Switch. The presenter will show up and tell us what we just saw before he introduces a familiar face. Masahiro Sakurai will show up and tell us about how happy he is to see Kid Icarus make it to Switch. While not working on the project himself, he will express that after playing a build of the game, he could say with certainty that he gives this game his seal of approval. And while he has our attention, he also has something that he's been waiting to show us for a long time. Bam! Super Smash Bros. 64 coming to Nintendo Switch Online. Sakurai will express how much fun he had playing Super Smash Bros. Ultimate Online that he always wondered what it'd be like to play the original N64 game online. He says his goodbyes, saying how he can't wait for everyone to play Kid Icarus Uprising Remastered when it releases in January 2024. Now, on with the rest of the Direct. Next reveal comes from HAL Laboratories with a brand new Kirby game. Kirby Festival is a party game not dissimilar to Mario Party, in which you play on a board, roll dice, and play a minigame. Boards will be based on Forgotten Land, Planet Robobot, Epic Yarn, Rainbow Curse, and a generic one with Wispy Woods. The game will come out later this month. Next comes a new Mario sports game. Mario Super Sluggers Strikeout is another content-lacking sports game featuring Mario characters that nobody's going to buy. The only thing worth noting is the music, which will have a very nice sound to it, mostly inspired by organ music you'd hear playing in baseball games. You know that. Super Mario Sluggers Strikeout will release in February 2024. Finally, the last Direct announcement of the year. The presenter will thank us for watching before showing us one last thing. After years of waiting, getting scrapped, and then redone, it's time for Nintendo to finally re-reveal Metroid Prime 4. By this point, it'll have been nearly half a decade since Nintendo announced this game was restarting development at Retro Studios. 5 years is a long time for game development. This is my most sure prediction. Metroid Prime 4 will be shown in 2023 and will release in June of 2024. October. Firstly, Astral Chain 2 will come out and will sell decently well, but not as well as the first game. However, critical response will be good. Better than Bayonetta 3 even. Platinum Games will state in an interview that they found themselves stretched thin developing 3 games at once, which they admit compromised quality at the expense of making the games on time. They will later announce plans to expand the development team to help reach deadlines faster without compromising on quality. Then the main show for October, Star Fox Legion. In a shock to everyone, this game won't be just good, it will be really good. Along the lines of Metroid Dread, Mario Odyssey, and Smash Bros., Star Fox Legion is an uncompromised full release. With so many Switch games coming out, feeling like the bare minimum when it comes to effort, it'll be refreshing to get what feels like the whole experience. November. Just 1 month away from Super Mario Odyssey 2's launch, marketing for the game will be going insane. Mario Kart 8 Booster Course Pass Wave 6 will be revealed this month, and spoilers, you got now? Okay, cool. 4 of the leaked tracks are brand new ones specifically made for Tour, which means they're pretty impossible to predict. However, one new course will be shown, and that brand new course will be a track based off of Mario Odyssey 2's New Kingdoms. And then of course, Wii Rainbow Road. But with the reveal of Mario Kart 8 DLC Wave 6 comes Pokemon Scarlet and Violet DLC. Crimson Caves and Velvet Valley will release to positive reception, setting a precedent that DLC for the mainline Pokemon entries will be a common occurrence. December. Finally, the Mario Kart 8 DLC comes to an end with Vancouver Velocity, Daisy Cruiser, GameCube Rainbow Road, and Wii Rainbow Road. Then, the moment I will have been waiting for all year long. Super Mario Odyssey 2 will release this month to critical acclaim, as you all expect. I will be shaking in my boots, frothing at the mouth, clawing at the games cabinet at Walmart, desperate to get my hands on this game. Well, there we go. All 12 months covered. Hopefully those predictions are feasible and not too far out. I had a ton of fun making this video, but first, before I end it, let's take a look back at some of my predictions for 2020. I didn't write predictions for 2021 or 2022, so all I have is 2020. Whatever, let's just see what I got right, and pretty much nothing. I was right that Super Mario 3D World would be announced, even though I said it would be announced in January, so not really right on that one. Oh, but I did get Fighters Pass 2, though. Check that out, that's something. But anywho, that's it. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time.